As you can see, it's sunny. It's a spring here in Spain, and we're talking about a game about birds and spring and nature.
In nature, yes.
In nature, yeah,
Yes.
with Martin.
Yes, hi.
Toki Tori too. Hi.
Hi, nice to meet you. So yes, Toki Tori 2, we just released it a week ago, so it was an early spring release on the Wii U eShop. And it's a game that we've been working on for the past 18 months, and well, we're happy that it's finally released.
It's just released on the eShop, and first version is for the Wii U, but
Yes.
you plan on adapting it to other platforms.
Yeah,
right?
at the moment we're also working on a Steam version, so it will be for the PC and for the Mac. But for the moment, for the next couple of months, it will be on the Wii U only. So yes.
I have to say I've been playing Toki Tori 2, and it's rather special platforming and puzzles game, and the actions you can do with the little protagonist birds.
It's a little limited, right? So you can only do two things, which is whistle or stomp. So those are the only two actions that you can do with Toki Tori. And even though it sounds very limited, because if you whistle and stomp and that's it, he doesn't have any magical skills. You can do a lot with those two things. In Toki Tori 2, we mainly focus the whole game around the creatures that are in the forest. So you're interacting with them through whistling or stomping. So if you whistle, you attract animals. If you stomp, they usually get scared and get away from you. So those are the basic two actions that you have. And by interacting with the animals, you solve puzzles. That's the whole idea.
And you also don't take the player's hand from the beginning.
No.
I think that was on purpose, obviously.
Yeah, definitely. There is no text, no tutorials in the game whatsoever. Basically, from start, you've been dropped into the game. And you start there, and it's for you to figure out what to do. What should I do? There are only two things that you can do, which is whistle and stomp. And you go find your way to the end of the puzzle. That's basically what you need to do. Yes.
Do you think that could be too risky nowadays? Maybe
yeah.
with casual players or people.
Yeah, we already noticed that because we watch Miiverse very closely, and we see that a lot of people are posting a lot of lovely comments. But there are also some comments that are people that are a little bit frustrated because they don't get it. They're like, okay, I spent like 5 minutes on this game and I don't understand what I need to do. So it can be a little bit daunting for some players. But I think the whole idea for us was just to make something that is unique and how do you say unique? It's more like exploring and for you to find out what to do. And I think that's more rewarding than us telling you what to do. So we don't hold any hands. It's just you on your own. You go figure out what to do.
I think I was actually surprised about that because of the presentation, also because of the minimalistic style, art style. I also was expecting something more simple or easy to understand. So I think that already works. What can you tell me about the art style? That pretty simple arts you've chosen.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure if I would call it simple, but I can understand what you're saying. We're trying to do a lot with very vibrant colors. And it's not 3D. It's all pre-rendered 3D, and we just painted it to look even nicer. But yeah, I think it needs to be simple and not too complex with movement and all that stuff, because people only could get confused. So I think that's the minimalistic approach you're looking for, something like that. Yeah.
You think people can mix up or be confused about that presentation, minimalistic presentation, and then the depth that the game is hiding? Because I mean, it's not comparing like to Angry Birds, for example.
No, don't get started about Angry Birds.
I mean, it's easy to compare. It's a bird, and one is hungry, and the other one is not.
Yeah, true. No, but I don't think Toki Tori's looks are that simplistic or minimalistic as you refer to. We chose to do a lot with the backgrounds. For instance, there is the whole story takes place on a very big island. And once you watch closely, you always see something in the background that is related to the position that you are on the island. For instance, there is like a big purple tree somewhere, and if you're walking in front of it, you see it in the background. And once you go a little bit further on the island, you see that the tree is actually part of the level. So it's the backgrounds and the whole scenery is actually intertwined. So yeah, we chose to do that.
Yeah, and actually when the camera pans out, you can see there's a labyrinth and there's a depth, so it's there. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you see that there's a cave or like a mountain, and there's another mountain. So you know, probably later when I progress through this game, I need to go to that mountain. I need to go to that mountain. There seems to be a city in the center. What do I need to do there? So that's the whole thing. We want to give players a little bit of a feeling that they're like part of a big adventure, and it's for them to figure out what to do.
I'm really loving that approach. I'm really looking forward to complete it, and I'm just in the beginning of the game. So here at iDÉAME 2013,
Yes.
you're talking about sequels on a panel, right?
Yes, apparently I am. Yes, oh, yes, I'm talking about sequels. And Toki Tori, obviously, because it's Toki Tori 2, is a sequel, but it's not a sequel like an easy sequel, because a lot of games and movies as well, they tend to just copy the original concept and work it out again and even again and again and again. And what we have left of the original game is only the bird. Toki Tori is basically the only thing that is left from the original game. The original game was, the first version was completely about collecting eggs, and once you collected all the different eggs, you completed a level. And it was very sequential, you know, linear. So once you finished one level, you go to the next level, and if you finish that one, you go to the next, and etc. etc. And this one is much more like an open world. Basically, it's up to the player to determine where he wants to go. If he wants to go to the left, fine. If he wants to go to the right, fine. As long as you solve the puzzle to get there, do whatever you want. So that's the only thing. The only thing that is still left from the original game is Toki Tori. So we don't have any items, no weapons. There's no text in the game. So yeah, that's it.
I noticed I got stuck at the beginning, but then I figured out, no, not sorry, that's the cool thing.
But the moment that you figured out what to do, did you think, right.
That's rewarding.
Yes, definitely. And I watch this here when I see people play. I see them, and I look for the moment that they say, and that's when I know, okay, this is good, because that's for us, that will be the reward, and for them hopefully as well, because then they think, this is the way I should do it. So, and that's rewarding instead of, well, like I already explained, instead of explaining what to do.
Definitely. Then you start whistling like a bird.
Yeah.
So we can also consider this Toki Tori 2 game like a milestone for Two Tribes.
Yeah.
Because if I'm not wrong, it's the first completely independent game you've produced.
Well, the first game was Toki Tori 1, but we started development on that in 1999, which is a long time ago. And it was released in 2001, so also that is a long time ago. It's 12 years ago. Yeah, it's a long time ago. Man, I'm old. Anyway, so yeah, that took a long time, and we did some other games as well, but we never actually did another Toki Tori type game. You know, we start from scratch and we build something that we'd love to build. We didn't do that, and until now. So for us, this is a milestone. I think you said it pretty correct. Yes.
It's also the most ambitious project you've been on.
Yes. Yeah.
Where can we discover that on the game?
I think it's the most ambitious thing. Well, one of the things that you already described is what we're trying to do is the very minimalistic approach. We don't explain anything. That was very hard to do because it's very easy. It's very easily to get stuck in a game if you design it improperly. So we had several rounds of tweaking, polishing before we felt, okay, we can release this to the public, because now, you know, a large portion, if not all people, are at least able to finish the easy part of the game. So that took a lot of time. So that was pretty difficult. Also, one of the things that we did was that we completely rewrite our engine to make things very easy for designers to add stuff, to tweak stuff without asking programmers what to do. So that was also a big step for us, and well, yeah.
Maybe those are the hidden production values that people, when we talk about ambitious projects, it's always like we are imagining super movie-like games, but those are the hidden values that make a project ambitious for you.
Yeah, I think for the player as well, because the easy path through the whole game will take you, I think, between 10 and 15 hours to complete, and then you like solved it. But if you collect all the collectibles in the game, which are hidden on very difficult, hard to reach locations, if you do that, I think you'll end up at like 30 hours of gameplay or something like that. And there are animals which you can photograph as well, and if you collect all those, there will be a nice surprise. So there are lots of things added to the game that the player on first sight would not even know. But the more he gets into the game, the more he learns about it, and he thinks, perhaps I can reach that thing over there. How do I do it? And then it will be his next quest, and he will spend like hours on it, and then he solves it, and he's like, yes. So I think that's the most ambitious thing that we tried to do. Whereas in Toki Tori 1, it was very simple. You always saw all the eggs, and that was your goal. And now it's up to you to do whatever you want to.
Great. So this is the last game from Two Tribes.
Yes.
Game's already out on Wii U. We're gonna find it on all the platforms soon.
Yeah.
And where is Two Tries flying to now?
Well, first we're still stuck with the bird, so I think we'll spend for the next half a year to 9 months still on Toki Tori, depending on how it sells and how well it all goes. What we want to do for Wii U is to release it with a very nice level editor as well. So there will be an update with a level editor, but I cannot give any specifics on that because we're first working on the Steam version. But then we are making like a level editor, and people are able to share the levels with each other through Miiverse. That's something that we're trying to do. So I think it's a lot of work to do that. So that's our next goal.
Can you explain that a bit further? How are we going to edit our levels and to share via the Wii U gamepad, maybe?
Yeah, the level editor will be up to the designers to come up with a thing with a level editor that's easy to understand for the Wii U audience, which is apparently different than the guys that are playing, the games on Steam, which is much more hardcore. So we need to come up with an easy to understand level editor in which you can make your own levels. And then the most obvious thing to do is to use Miiverse for sharing the levels between each other. And I'm not entirely sure how we can do it, but I think Nintendo just announced it last week or 2 weeks ago about new plans for Miiverse with attaching stuff, and so something like that. So perhaps there will be a post with a level attached, and people can exactly, something like that. Yeah. That's the idea. Yeah.
That's pretty innovative idea. Let's find how it turns out, and good luck with the project.
Yeah,
thank you very much for your time.
Thanks a lot for your interview.
Thank you.
you.